Most of the time when we've heard about Chelsea, us West Ham fans have heard about constant rumours that Declan Rice wants to head to Chelsea because Frank Lampard was as obsessed with him as a zombie is obsessed with brains. This resulted in Frank Lampard getting sacked because apparently the Chelsea board had had enough of him badgering on about wanting to sign Declan Rice and just going Declan Rice, Declan Rice, Declan Rice, Declan Rice all the time. So in theory, Declan Rice kind of got Frank Lampard sacked. Absolute genius from the Basmati Billy Bonds. West Ham United host Chelsea at the London Stadium on Saturday in what has been a crazy week for football in general, but Chelsea in particular if we're talking about this game. Because Chelsea's board pulled out of the European Super League following fan protests. I saw that Petr Cech was in attendance and many Chelsea fans as well, protesting outside the stadium against ownership and against the greed of the European Super League. I have to admit, fan power is able to unite people against a injustice, which you could call it in this case. Fan power has helped to bring down this Super League. And Chelsea fans were leading the way in that, I would say. So well done, Chelsea fans, for standing up for what you believe in and having your voices heard. This is why protests happen, because it gets voices heard. And Chelsea fans weren't going to stay silent, knowing that their team would be denied the rights to play in Europe and be denied the right to play in the Premier League because of a greedy league that would have had no place in football. The difference between playing Chelsea now and then is the difference in manager. Lampard's gone and Tuchel is now in charge. Thomas Tuchel has managed Dortmund and PSG, so you don't get those jobs for nothing in this day and age, and it tells you that he is a world-class manager. He's one of the most tactically sound managers in Europe, in my opinion, because of the way he likes to be creative, the way he likes to change things up a lot. Since he came into the club, Chelsea have had 13 games under his management. They have won 7, drawn 5, and lost once. It's a massive improvement and it's given Chelsea a fighting chance of qualifying for Europe. Don't forget Chelsea's only one place below West Ham on goal difference. As I said, he's one of the most tactically sound managers in Europe because when he was managing in France, he particularly liked to do a 3-5-2 formation. This would help Chelsea out because they have a lot of depth in the midfield and packing up that midfield allows for a lot more creativity and some defensive duties. But it's worked a lot because he has helped Havertz to blossom a lot more. Pulisic is starting to get on the board a bit more. Timo Werner's going forward a lot more and has played a little bit better under Tuchel. Maybe it's just the German connection. I don't know. But he's used a lot of different systems with Chelsea right now and it's keeping opponents guessing. I couldn't even tell you what Chelsea are going to put out this weekend because I don't really know what Tuchel's going to do. I know that he's getting the best out of the players and that he's steering the ship in the right direction there. That said, Chelsea do have this habit of appointing a new manager. They have a really good honeymoon period and then everything goes to waste. Hopefully, for Chelsea fans, they'll be thinking that this is something that can continue in terms of their good form. Obviously, I want to talk about Mason Mount because he and Declan Rice are BFFs and have been best friends since their days in the Chelsea Academy. Mason Mount is a class youngster. He was class under his first season with Frank Lampard at Chelsea, and even before that, when he was under Lampard's management at Derby, Mount was looking a really impressive player. He plays in the midfield. He can play as a number 10, although he tended to play more that role at Derby than he does currently at Chelsea. I know that Mason Mount is a very creative player, a very intelligent player, and someone who likes to cut inside, particularly in the box. Mount doesn't necessarily dribble it into the box, but he knows where to be when the ball comes in. And because of this, he is positionally aware of where he needs to be, and this allows him to create chances, whether it be an assist or having a shot at goal. Timo Werner had a bit of a good start to life at Chelsea with the goals against Southampton, but he dipped in his form a little bit. This tended to be a bit of a problem with Chelsea strikers such as Alvaro Morata, who signed for big money and never really lived up to it. Werner looked that way at the start of this season, but I think that with Tuchel's guidance, Werner's going to be a very impressive player. And the reason being is because Werner is pacey, eccentric, lively, and in my opinion, he's a goal scorer. If you give Werner more chances to score, he will put them away. Okay, he's done it in the past, and he's done it quite articulate way of scoring. He's a striker who is threatening. He's good with his feet. He's an efficient dribbler as well. And not only that, I think with this 3-5-2 formation that Tuchel supposedly favours, Werner would have a little bit more support, and this support will help him to get goals. Kai Havertz was one of the big name signings for Chelsea over the summer. He joined from Bayer Leverkusen, and when he was in the Bundesliga, he was referred to as an Alles Können kind of player, basically a player who can do everything. As an attacking midfielder and a forward, Havertz likes to run into the box and always creates chances for the strikers. That said, he's very good with his feet, and he's very good at working in an attacking role. He can go forward a lot with the ball, of course. That's his natural role as an attacking midfielder. And under Tuchel, Havertz has started to show glimpses of a different player. Maybe again, it's down to new systems that Tuchel's playing. And this is still quite early stages for the new Chelsea boss. Havertz is going to definitely be in Tuchel's plan, but Havertz is going to fit into a specific kind of role within this team. Havertz needed some more guidance from somebody who'd worked in the Bundesliga. He's got that now in Tuchel. So that's why Havertz is now playing a lot better. He's suiting into the team a lot more. He's very good with the ball on his feet, and he is creating more and more chances for his strikers. It's similar to what he was doing in the Bundesliga, and he's just copying it now in the Premier League. For the player who played for both, I went with an obscure name. I went with Victor Moses. Victor Moses began his career at Crystal Palace, which isn't too far away from either Chelsea or West Ham, and moved to Wigan Athletic in 2010. After 2 years at Wigan, he moved to Chelsea and was mainly used as a loanee. He tried to get into the first team and tried to get some regular form in the first team, but it wasn't to be. So he went out on loan a few times before he landed at West Ham in 2015. He joined West Ham on loan for the 2015-2016 season, the last one at the Bowling Ground, and scored only one Premier League goal for the Hammers in a 2-1 victory away at Manchester City. He also scored a free kick in the 5-1 demolition against Blackburn Rovers in the FA Cup. Moses has since played in Turkey for Fenerbahce, Italy for Inter Milan, and now plays for Spartak Moscow in Russia. Well, I went on Hammer's polls and tried to give a preview for this game. Well, I did give a preview for the game, sorry. And I wanted to give my prediction for the game, I should say. I am going to sit on the fence on this because, and I always do this with these score predictions, I don't know, really. I am confident of getting some kind of result, and I would take a draw. But any kind of win, I think it's going to be like a narrow 1-0, given how Chelsea have improved. So it's going to go 1-0 either way. I'm going to settle on that. Thank you very much for watching Opposition Uncovered. If you liked the video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content. I'll be watching the game tomorrow as per usual, and I'll have the aftermath coming after the game. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and I'll see you all soon.